Okay, class. Good morning. It's Professor Streeter, and I'm going to walk you through a brief explanation of the midterm exam. I have a PowerPoint slideshow, and I'm going to narrate that for you. Okay, hope you're doing well. Let's get started. All right, the midterm exam. First things first, it's due on Thursday, April 2nd, and you have to submit it to the D2L assignment folder by 2 p.m. I will show you how to do that at the end of the video. All right. There are two parts to the exam. Part A is all short answer questions, and each question is worth 1 point. So a total of 10 questions, each worth 1 point, so 10 points. Part B is also worth 10 points, and that's a short essay. There are 23 questions in Part A, but again, you're just choosing 10 and writing a complete paragraph response for each question. Make sure to provide textual evidence for your view. You can do that by directly quoting or paraphrasing with a reference to the page or line number from the relevant text. There are 3 sections within Part A, so it's broken down into 3 sections, and you have to answer questions from all 3 sections. But again, you only have to choose 10 out of 23, but you can't skip a section. So let's look at the first section. Section A1 is questions from Homer's Odyssey. I'll just read you the first one. Contains a quotation from Book 1. Zeus's first spoken words in Homer's Odyssey are an expression of frustration with human beings. He says, "Mortals, they are always blaming the gods for their troubles, when their own witlessness causes them more than they were destined for." And I give you the page reference there. From your reading of Homer, what is the real cause of human misery? The meddling of the gods or the carelessness of mortals? Give evidence for your view. Notice this is a question we've already thought about together in class. I think you'll recognize many of these questions, but a lot of them are new. Okay, so again, you have to choose 10 of these. This is the first in section A1 from Homer's Odyssey. I won't read them all. You can view this PowerPoint on your own time. There's also a PDF file that contains the whole exam that you can download. Okay, here's more questions from section A1 on Homer's Odyssey. And then we move to section A2. And this is the largest of the 3 sections, questions from Miller's Circe. Question number 6, what is the story that Circe's father, Helios, tells her about the astronomers toward the end of chapter 1? What effect does this story have on her? And how does this illustrate what is different about Circe? Notice that Circe's family starts laughing at her in this scene. Why? What does their laughter tell us about Circe? Okay, so again, that's one question you can choose. There are a lot more about Miller's Circe going up through, I think, around chapter 21 or 20. I didn't ask you to write about the very end of the book. Here we have a question about her encounter with Odysseus in chapter 15. Okay, so just giving you a sense. Again, you can go back and look at the PowerPoint slide on your own time. The last question in section A, based on your reading of chapter 21, who is to blame for the death of Odysseus? Why doesn't Telemachus, his son, seek vengeance? And why doesn't he grieve for his father's death? What does this mean for Telegonus, Circe's son? What does it mean for Circe? Give evidence for your view. Okay, so that's again the last question in section A. You go back and read, in section A2. The final section in part A are questions from Hesiod. And again, you have to answer questions from all 3 sections. So questions about Homer's Odyssey, questions from Miller's Circe, and here questions from Hesiod. But you get to choose, and you only have to do 10 of them. Question 19, how is the origin of the gods depicted in Hesiod's Theogony? What conclusion can we draw about Greek attitudes toward nature and power from this text? Okay, then I give you some more passages from the Theogony. The last 3 questions, 21, 22, and 23, are all based on a reading of Hesiod's Works and Days. Although 21 asks you to compare Works and Days and Theogony. What is the difference between the Prometheus Pandora story in Works and Days and the Prometheus Pandora story in Theogony? Explain the significance of these differences. Okay, those are handouts. So both the Homer and the Hesiod texts are handouts. The handouts are still available in the content page. Obviously, the Circe questions are from the book that you've been reading. Let's turn to the essay topics. Again, this is worth 10 points. And the assignment is to write a short essay, 375 to 500 words. That's about 1.5 pages to 2 pages double-spaced, in response to one of the following prompts. So you just choose one of the prompts. Your essay should contain an introduction, body paragraph, or more than one body paragraph, and a conclusion. Think about structure. Think about essay structure. It should also contain page references for indirect or direct quotation. So if you're citing the text, make sure you do that in your essay. Okay, here's the first essay prompt. Based on what you've read in Hesiod, Homer, and Miller's Circe, what did the ancient Greeks believe about their gods? What does this reveal about Greek customs and values? Or, question 2, compare and contrast the journey of the Greek hero Odysseus to the quest of the Mesopotamian hero Gilgamesh. What is the fundamental difference between these two ethical models for how to live? Here's an example of a place where you could write about Gilgamesh. I did not include questions in part A about Gilgamesh, but you do have the opportunity to go back and think about that text for your essay if you choose. Here are 2 more questions, one about Circe, one about Odysseus. Here we have a question, who is most responsible for maintaining balance, order, and justice in society? Is it the gods, the people, or the king, or leader? Explain the implications of your view and provide textual evidence from the Greek texts we have read. You may also reference Gilgamesh in this context. Okay, here's another example of a place where you could think about Gilgamesh again. Okay, and then the last question has to do with the Prometheus myth. So again, you go back and decide which of these essay prompts is most interesting to you and write a short essay response. That's worth 10 points. That's all for the PowerPoint. Here I am again. Hello. I'm going to walk you through now the how to submit the exam once you're done. So you go here to the assessment menu up here at the top. Let me give the full page so it's easier to see. And click Assignments. Okay, and here is the essay folder. If you haven't already submitted your essay, please do so I can give you online feedback. And here is the midterm folder. And here you have instructions for what to do. And the attachments here, the PDF file of the midterm, the PowerPoint that I just narrated, and I will add the link to the video narration of this PowerPoint presentation when I'm done. It will look like this for you. This is the student view. Again, it's now closed, so when you go to this folder you won't see it open because it's not going to be open until tomorrow at noon. But once it's open, it will look like what I just showed you, and you can submit your midterm the same way you submit your essays here. So again, let's go to the student view, sorry. You click here and submit. Okay, but do that for the midterm, obviously. All right, that's all. I hope that was clear and that you feel more comfortable with midterm. I'm trying to get back to my screen, but there we go. Okay. If you have any questions, please don't hesitate to email me, and I will be sending more videos and communicating with you more directly as the semester goes on. Hope you're doing well. Talk to you soon. Bye.